Hi there, Virgo, Virgo Rising, and of course all of you Virgo Moon people out there. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting January 6th, 2020. And Happy New Year again to all of you. And if you ever wish to get a session with me, you do need to go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Or of course you may also simply follow the links below. Now, what is going on when it comes to our astrology over the course of this coming week? Well, as you can see, there's a lot going on with Neptune, but I know a lot of folks are going to want me to cover the eclipse that's also happening on Friday. I will mention to everybody, as I have before, usually eclipses are actually covered on the monthly horoscopes as they apply to far more than just a week ago. I will be actually uploading, though, clips just talking about the eclipse from the monthly astrology horoscopes, but those are only available on Patreon. The monthlies for December were special to let people know what's going on there, but I will be uploading clips about the eclipse soon, okay? But we're not talking about that in this video, so just stay tuned for that. Those will be up in time for this week as well. So, this week, it's all about what I've been calling Dances with Neptune, and we've got the Sun and Mercury on Tuesday and Wednesday, respectively, in your 5th house of love, romance, and the relationships that you have with your children, forming gorgeous sextiles to Neptune in your 7th house of partnerships. This is the area of closest one-on-one relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, roommate, all the people you spend your closest one-on-one time with. And sextiles are all about help, right? They're all about things reaching over and mutually assisting one another. And with Neptune, the planet of fantasy and spirituality and expansion, sometimes, yes, illusions, we have a chance to actually go through a bit of a dream week when it comes to relationships especially, but also, again, possibly those that go on with our parental relationships, and we'll cover that as well. The Sun is offering an opportunity to actually start enjoying almost living a different life with your partner. It's almost like you and your partner wake up in a different house. You wake up in a different timeline, a different life stream. And we get a chance to actually see what it would be like to be in this bizarro world. Is it better or is it not? It's important that we at least give it a shot. And the same thing can go with our kids. We may be seeing a different personality emerge. This could actually be a breakthrough in a positive direction, or this might be something that is a sign of, a good bit of growth in our child, but quite possibly might be something that they're doing as a pendulous swing in an opposite direction from where they were. The important thing in both cases is to find a way to extract the good and the positive while still maintaining a balance. Those of you who are single Virgos, gotta be careful this week. Not necessarily in a bad way, alright? I'm not trying to put negativity out there, but with the Sun and Mercury both sextile Neptune, it's a time to take a walk through this in a natural way. If you meet somebody new and things seem to really be clicking, and yes, they might even click on that empathic, spiritual level, it's important that you don't get intoxicated on those feelings and energies too fast. Because again, this is something that we could actually even keep if we want, but we have to treat this with discernment and care. So, before we get on to the cards, I'm trying something a little bit different this week, and I want to remind everybody that if you are having a hard time finding your horoscope, you want to actually check out the main channel page and look at the playlists. Now, there are a couple of ways to do that. You can click on the playlist tab, or just simply scroll down when you get to the main channel page. And if my directions are not that helpful the way I speak them, I did actually make a video with a bit of tech support showing you what I'm talking about and how to find your horoscope if it's missing, and I'll include that in the down bar below. So moving on to your cards, your spiritual themes this week, interestingly enough, are very consistent with what we just saw with the astrology. We've got the Page of Cups in reverse. And we have an influx of a lot of positive emotional demonstrations. Though they may seem uncomfortable, they may seem a bit too strong, too forward, or maybe just too foreign, especially if it's coming out of a partner that we're already with, or again, one of our kids that we're already fairly familiar with. Now, the Page of Cups reverse can indicate that we need to find a way to handle this, and it may not necessarily always be coming from kids and partners. This is also just a theme of the week, to have our cake and eat it too. And with the Page of Cups reversed, that can be a little bit tough, because sometimes what happens is we're sort of afraid to take a bite of our cake. That's one thing that we can be afraid to do. We don't want to take it out of the box. It's too pretty. And therefore, we almost are too careful. We're too sensitive, and we may actually miss the chance. You can't just keep that cake on the table forever. You're going to get ants, it's going to go stale, and it's not going to taste very good if you just leave it out there in the open for a week. But at the same time, we don't want to gorge either. And so we have to make sure that we can find that balance. Because one of the things I'm getting from the Page of Cups reversed is not necessarily something that even comes from my more, personal interpretation of the card. Something else is kind of coming out. It's talking a little bit more about the mishandling of positive energy, or the mishandling of positive signs, of positive breakthroughs. If you're getting what you want, you can't get scared and run away. It's kind of like somebody getting a chance to leave a whole bunch of their stress or anxiety about something behind, but they've identified with that stress and anxiety. They don't know when to let it go. But at the same time, we don't want to gorge or become intoxicated on these new feelings, because when the honeymoon phase is over, it's going to feel like a micro-trauma. So we have to make sure we know how to keep these things in balance, and that's going to be the test of this week. You're going to get an influx of a lot of positive emotional feedback and generosity, but you have to handle it with care. On the influx, we go in another direction. We have the Ten of Swords upright, and this is an energy that's going to kind of be everywhere. All right, this is impacting all areas of your life. Now, the Ten of Swords, what I'm getting from this is, we're just shutting a bunch of stuff off. But remember, it's important to understand that the Ten of Swords brings a harsh end to things that are already harsh. They're already dysfunctional. They're already toxic. They're already destructive and unhealthy. And this can actually be advantageous. Some of you may even be the ones doing it. You may be inflicting that Ten of Swords energy, whether you're deciding to say, no, I'm out, I'm walking away from this group, I'm cutting off that fake friend, or I'm deciding to look elsewhere for work. However, this could also just be something going on around you that's sort of hitting everything in sight. Things that are already unhealthy, toxic, dysfunctional, broken, can just up and be dissolved by this wave. And it does look like that it's not really going to be paying attention to what we or what other people's egos call a work in progress. Because if it's really not, it's not going to survive this hit. Now, with this influx, we have to practice how to not become attached in this way. We have to know how to have compassionate detachment this week. We may be finding out some things that we don't want to hear. It might not necessarily be happening to us personally, but close to us. And this influx of energy is focusing on a cleanup. One of the things about the Ten of Swords we have to understand is that it comes sort of like an overdue cleanup. It's kind of like the Tower in that respect. It's overdue. These are things that have to go in the best interest of all concerned, but nobody seems to be giving them up in due time. And now, no more waiting. When it comes to the outflux, or what's going away, we have the Devil in reverse, which is actually really, really cool. And again, we have that same message of, look, we are just seeing the process of release of toxic, sabotaging energy and people expedited during this period, during this week. But now I have to say to you Virgo people, being a Virgo with Mars in Virgo myself, sometimes you just gotta let your situation go without trying to get revenge or trying to get a few cheap shots in or trying to avenge yourself. You may be left with a bit of a lack of closure this week. Somebody may be actually taken away from your life that you wanted to see go away, but it wasn't in the manner that you felt appropriate. Just be grateful for the fact that it's happening. The Devil card reverse can also show up here where this release or this plucking of these, I guess you could say, lower timeline, lower rung types of influences is all, as an outflux, it's creating a void. It's a void that either you can fill or that will be filled this week. We've got a lot of energy coming in, right? And we have opportunities to finally replace something that we've already thought we needed to replace. In a lot of cases with the Devil card reversed, what we see is something taking up a space that it doesn't deserve to have anymore, and it's gone with that outflux placement. See what you can put there. If you wish to have anything there, you may want to just enjoy the space for a little bit. When it comes to the material concerns, when it comes to your wealth, or whatever, however you define your material resources in this case, wealth for as long as it's applicable to our journey. The Knight of Cups reversed, honestly, is what I'm looking at here. Sorry I didn't announce it in the beginning. I'm kind of feeling that there is going to be an opportunity to actually explore something that you're very insecure about as it relates to your talents, your career, your job, or possibly even a person you would be doing that with. And I think that it's okay to take that step if you want to. I think it's perfectly fine. Just don't let yourself put too much emotional currency into that. The Knight of Cups reversed is indicating people, when it comes to work and matters of money, are getting very attached and very, very personal with each other, but I think they're doing it because they feel like they need comfort. They need to be protected. They are coming to you for protection, or they're offering their protection to you, but it's almost happening in a very fast and unnatural way. Money itself, just as a commodity, will actually be going incredibly well this week, but you have to be careful about people trying to buy you or make a purchase of you this week, because sometimes the Knight of Cups reversed goes overboard in trying to win us over, and we may end up feeling guilty, or worse, they may feel like they just successfully purchased us. I don't get the vibe of anyone trying to do that in a nefarious fashion. I don't think this is a part of some long-standing agenda that they have. They could just be going about doing this all wrong. Work and money should be just fine so long as the social aspects are kept under control. When it comes to the external, your friends, your family, we've got the Five of Wands upright. Looks like there might be some clashes going on, and somebody wants your say, your input, or your participation in their battle. And I'm wondering if maybe this has to do with, maybe a friend or relative saying, I don't know what to do about so-and-so, what would you do? Or we need to do something about so-and-so, what do we have to say here? And the Five of Wands is really kind of asking for your input. Yes, it is, actually. This is something that you can put your input in on, but you absolutely don't have to jump into the fray. You can stay fray adjacent if you prefer. The Five of Wands doesn't have to turn out negatively, but not everyone knows how to cope with these kinds of stressful readings. And it's important to understand that there is an option to simply leave your input and take a step back. And if that's all you want to do, that's all you have to do. When it comes to your relationships with romance, we actually have the Two of Swords upright. And this week, I'm actually getting a weird feeling of either a partner or somebody even new approaching you with something that I think that you've wanted, something that you definitely would entertain as a fantasy, going back to that very Neptunian energy. But we have to keep an eye out. This might be something that seems a bit abrupt, whether it's coming too fast, and there's the temptation to gorge, Page of Cups reversed, or this is something that maybe your partner hasn't really quite thought out very well. It does feel like they're being sincere, but the Two of Swords upright is saying in both cases it's not a good idea to start throwing everything we have at it. Okay, this is not a time where if this person is really open and willing, then they will be open into taking this in a natural way and not necessarily just throwing the kitchen sink at the opportunity of having this relationship go in the direction it will. Everyone seems very interested and enthusiastic, but again, remember that Page of Cups reversed. Handle with care. So that's your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hey, y'all know I appreciate it. And if you ever wish to get a session, just go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.